Operating at an extraordinary level can seem challenging. Learn how to survive in the lone wolf economy in the OG Money podcast with Lonnie Gordon Ogulnick. Drawing on over 20 years of experience in the trenches of Wall Street, Lonnie explores what it takes to be successful in today's rapidly changing environment. From daily routines, wealth strategies, and sustaining the highest levels of wisdom, Lonnie and his guests unpack proven ways to live an extraordinary life.
Hello and welcome to the OG Money Podcast with Lonnie Gordon Ogulnick. Today we're going to be doing his inaugural podcast, and I am Eric Johnson. I have the pleasure of interviewing Lonnie for his inaugural podcast so you guys can get to know him, get to know what makes him tick, a little bit about his business, and a little bit about his personal life. Lonnie, how are you?
Doing great. How you doing?
Oh, I'm fantastic. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for letting me interview you for this first podcast.
My pleasure.
All right, so let's start on the business side of things. Tell us a little bit about your history. How did you get into financial services in the first place?
Great question. So I've always been a little bit of an entrepreneur as a kid, selling baseball cards, doing baseball car shows at a young age, 13 or 14 years old.
Nice.
As far as I can remember. That rolled into early stage booking, taking games on for my friends, football, basketball, you name it. College was a little bit of a bartending scene, having fun.
Mm-hmm.
But I was also the social chairman of my fraternity, and I majored in speech communications, minored in business economics. I always knew I was just going to be in sales. I just didn't know what form. Once we graduated from college, I didn't really have a good path. I didn't know what direction I was going to go. I got into sales, and then I kept hearing from people or friends, you should be a stockbroker. You should be a stockbroker. I was a little nervous about the Series 7 exam, but I ended up taking it. A light bulb went off in my head, and it said, you know what? All these job interviews, all these resumes, I was getting nowhere. But if I wanted to work for Microsoft, I can get on the phone and sell as much Microsoft stock as I wanted to. And if the next day I woke up and I wanted to work for Sun Microsystems, I could be a sales rep for them. That was the major light bulb moment for me, knowing my direction was going to be in sales, that being a stockbroker, working for any company I wanted to in the world on any given day, that was when I got very serious about being a stockbroker. Mm-hmm. And then from stock brokerage, I've evolved and became, financial advisor, real estate, author, branched out into insurance. You name it, I can do it if it's in the financial sphere.
Got it. All right. So how would you describe what you do right now then?
So I'm a little bit of everything, but at the end of the day, I'm a blue blood financial advisor, stockbroker. That's just my nature. I lean a little bit to the more aggressive spectrum of investing for clients. My mantra tends to be, if you're going to be investing in the market, take on some risks and go for it. I balance that out with behavioral finance, in which you want to make sure at first you're going to have money that you need, safety, security. I follow that up with mental health. I try to continuously talk to clients about working out, feeling good, doing things you enjoy doing. And then the last step, which is my bread and butter since I started in this business, was individual stocks, ETFs, financial management of money. That's the realm of where I am. I consider myself behavioral finance, which is a little bit of everything, not just stock picking, but really what do you need as a client and how can I help you as a financial advisor? I tackle that. But like I said, I started in 1997, 98 when stocks were booming. So I'm seeing a little bit of that again now, that 99 type stock mentality. And a lot of people are coming back into the stock game. So that traditional where I started business has been good because that's my bread and butter.
Yeah. So you spoke a lot about your clients. Who would your ideal client be?
So I'm not so interested in how much money you have or how much money you've made. I typically like to take on clients that have the mindset. I wrote the book, The Heart of a Beast, and my client base are all beasts, not financial beasts, although many are financial beasts, because I think it's, one of six half of one, six half of the other. The mindset of a beast is really who I'm looking for. People that take ownership, take personal responsibility, take a attitude in life that they're going to go for it. They want to create, they want to make, they want to build, they want to get stronger, faster. That's my client base. That's who I like to work with. One sign of somebody I don't like to work with are people who are blamers. You ever deal with somebody who's just blaming you for everything? That's a sign of somebody you don't want to work with, whether it's in my line of work or in any line of work. So, I'm allergic to people who are blamers, and I like people that are owners. They own their life.
Yeah. Yeah. You get tired of hearing all the excuses, right? I mean,
yeah,
they make up excuses for everything. So no, I totally get that. So let me ask you this. Why did you create this podcast? What is this for?
So the OG Money Podcast, OG stands for Ogulnick. That's my last name. It's a play off the book I wrote, The Heart of a Beast. So The Heart of a Beast really was me going out and interviewing and looking for people that were attacking life at a level that was just like above and beyond anything that I saw as normal. And those in life are beasts. The OG Money Podcast wants to combine that beast mindset with a dab of finance, literacy, money, stocks, safety of money, just combining the beasts in life that are crushing their days, whether it's working out, running, lifting, jujitsu. Combine that with their mindset in money, and then combine that with their wisdom. Like, what are you doing to maintain that level of fitness, that level of drive you have after you made your first 100 million, billion, whatever it is. So that's the goal of the OG Money Podcast. OG is my last name, but it also has that like old school mindset. What is an OG? An OG is old school. People who have a set of morals and ethics, and they do things a certain way. So that's where I came up with the OG Money Podcast. It's sort of like a play off of The Heart of a Beast, which The Heart of a Beast stems from a time in my life where I was in a bad place, where I said, if I could ever help somebody, I'm going to write a book and help them get out of the gutter and lift their life into a better place. So it's just a continuation of making people better, helping people get better, while at the same time myself getting better.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Let me ask you a question on that. When I think of, a beast, somebody who's just killing it and they're just doing well, and I could be wrong, maybe this is just my assumption, but I think those are the type of people that know their limitations as well. And the things that they don't want to do, they have somebody else do. The things that they can't do, whether it's time-wise or education-wise, they have somebody else do, right? I mean, like I said, I don't want to read too much into it, but I think that if let's say they've got a really nice house, a huge yard, and they hate yard work, they're going to hire somebody to do that because they'll get an expert in there that's going to make it look fantastic. Financially, they're probably not doing it themselves because it takes a lot of education to do it well. And that's what you specialize in. So I'm assuming that's why they're coming to you.
Yeah, I mean, well, you just hit the nail on the head. Most beasts or most people in life are delegating what they're not so good at. And what person in the world can do everything? With money, though, in stocks, there's ego involved, right? Like, people want to think they can do it. I just sometimes keep my mouth shut because I don't want to really be the one that bursts the bubble. But I do this 24/7, and I, have a tough time getting it right. So I do know someone running another business or doing what they do for a living and trying to maintain a stock portfolio or ETFs. You can easily buy a fixed indexed annuity and have no risk and get a 35% return of the S&P and sleep well at night. If that's what you're looking for, you don't really need me. I mean, I can write up the contract or put that in as part of a policy. But today you're seeing a lot of kids, a lot of people in this phase of the bull market try to do it on their own. It will end ugly for them. Most of them don't have the risk controls. They've never seen a bear market or the other side of a bull market. So I've seen quite a few, right? Like I started in 99 and that bull market ended in 2001 and it was a disaster. I learned a lot from that. I learned a lot from the '08 financial crisis.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely have learned. But back to your point on delegation, I think everyone delegates. I know I can't stand doing just about anything. And all I'm really good at doing is the things that I do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sell, talk to clients, invest money. What do I have control over in the morning? Getting up, working out, doing things that I have control. But, it's a battle. Everything's a battle, right? Staying on the path is a constant battle. And I think everyone learns from everyone. Some of the people I learned the most for were people who worked for me. Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there. You got to delegate things you're just not capable of doing.
Well, and that takes me to my next question is, I know you can't do everything yourself, so you've got to have a team or you've got to have a pretty deep bench around you, people that you can bring in that have different expertises than you. Who's on your team and what do they do?
So I write a lot about that in the book, Heart of a Beast. So your team today, and it's ironic that I wrote this a couple of years ago, 2-3 years ago, but everybody that I interact with, you're on my team, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're my partner now in podcasting.
That's right.
I've got COO, my right-hand man, in the office next to me. Some of my closest mentors and friends in this business, I still speak to 2-3 times a day about investments and stocks they're looking at. They're on my team. I've got an asset management group in New York. They're running asset management. Corey Hofstein's giving algorithm signals to me as far as I'm concerned with ETFs.
Mm-hmm.
I've got my accountant. I've got a group of people on Instagram that I'm following. That's part of my team. They motivate me to work out every day, right? So today's world, whether it's Zoom, whether it's podcasts, whether it's books, you have a massive team, and it's almost like your tribe, and you can build that tribe yourself. And that's what leads me to this podcast. I'm growing my tribe, and I'm learning, and I'm hoping to build that team and get it to be a massive group of beasts that work together. That's my team.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And we're going to talk a lot more, and I know you're going to talk a lot more about your business, what you do. You're going to have guests on this podcast. You've got a great lineup, kind of written down, and we're not going to even sneak those names out yet, but you've got a lot of things coming up. But one thing that we don't do on future podcasts too much is talk about your personal life. So I'm going to switch gears and do that now so people can get to know you on a personal level, and we'll save the rest of the podcast for the true business and getting into beast mode. So when you're not working, what are you doing? What do you do for fun?
Well, living in Miami, it doesn't take too much to have fun. This is one of the greatest places. Yeah. It is just amazing. I say the only reason you're getting me out of Miami is to get me on a mountain to go snowboarding.
Oh, nice.
That's about it. But we got the water, so we do some wakeboarding. We get on a boat. We have a lot of friends, whether it's fishing, going snorkeling, just getting outside, going for a beautiful walk at sunset with my family. I can't tell you I don't know the number because I don't know how long I'm going to live for, but just my stress and my life living in Miami, I can see myself being the mayor of this place one day because I love it that much. But
nice.
I love working. So when I get up in the morning and I go into the gym and I lift and I go into the cold plunge, I'm doing it not because I like it, but because I know I have to sharpen the sword. Mm-hmm. And then I got to be in the office. I got to be there for my clients who expect a certain level of service, contact, focus from me. And then, this podcast, I just love meeting people, talking to people. So I'm excited to pick brains. I'm a tennis player. I love jujitsu. There's a ton of little things that I have in my background as a kid where I played sports constantly. So get me out of the office, and I just want to run around and play some sports and do stuff that are active and watch my kids grow and play sports and have fun too. So I would say anything active outside I love to do.
Nice. Now, obviously you had a lot of people to talk to and you interviewed a bunch of people for your book, The Heart of a Beast. Who is your hero? If you had to pick somebody, I don't know if they're in the book or not, but do you have a hero?
I think when you say hero, Jocko Willink, who I happened to interview for the book, he entered my life through a podcast. Well, actually, maybe prior to a podcast. I'm not sure. But But it was the Joe Rogan Experience or the Tim Ferriss. One of those, he actually got on their podcast. And he was a Navy SEAL, and the guy was in Iraq, and he fought. But it was more about his mindset that really, really got me going. And there was something that he said that hit a chord with me, and it was good. Everything that he did or anything that happened to me, he said good. And essentially, it's like he found the silver lining in every situation. So I dropped something on my toe the other day. I couldn't run, but I could still do push-ups and work out my upper body. It's an example, right? So this guy is just, if you go on his Instagram page, he's up at 4:30 in the morning every single day. He's working out. He's getting after life. He's built a massive business. He's a tremendous success. He put down his life for the country. So, he's a selfless human being. So I would happen to say, if I had to say a hero, someone who is someone I'd like to emulate psychologically, he would be it. I mean, there's so many amazing people out there, but I think that someone who is willing to risk their life so that you and I can have this conversation and live in the freedoms that we've got, there's a special level of extra in them.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, obviously, you cover a lot of stories of success in your book and just with the people you speak with and even when you talk to your clients. But what is your personal idea of success, Lonnie?
I think if you wake up in the morning with a passion and a goal every single day, you're successful. And it's not necessarily a passion in the sense of, wow, I love to do this. I can't wait to do it. You may not love to do certain aspects of what you're doing, but if you're lucky enough to wake up every day and write down a new goal that you want to accomplish, you're successful. It's when you don't have a goal or something to aspire for is when I believe depression, anxiety, and stress enter your life. And we talk in the Heart of the Beast, we talk about plugging into a light. So if you don't have a cord and something to plug into that lights up a room, you're in darkness, right? You're dark.
Yeah.
So success to me is making sure you can find your outlet to plug into and become a light. That to me, monetarily, I don't know. I don't think you can attach success monetarily. I think there's plenty of teachers that don't make that much money that are wonderfully successful human beings and people. And then you have people who are billionaires who are miserable. Maybe they inherited it and they don't have any goals. So success to me is more about being able to wake up with a goal and then striving to achieve that.
Audience, here's the thing. I have never asked Lonnie these questions before. Him and I haven't even discussed this before. I want to just put that out there because, Lonnie, I got to comment on that. I've never heard it put that way, and I think that is one of the best definitions of success I've ever heard, because you didn't say if you get up and achieve your goal every day, that's successful. Just having that goal, that's so eye-opening, because really, truly, I believe that last part of your statement, if you don't have a goal, that's kind of when that anxiety or the depression can set in, because you don't have anything to live for. You don't have anything that's really driving you. Even if you don't reach every one of your goals, the fact that you have one, maybe you don't reach it that day, but as long as you keep striving, then you're successful, because you're moving forward, right? Dude,
Yeah.
that was fantastic. I love that.
And ironically, the first goal on my board for 2000 is a podcast. So
check it off, baby.
Checked off. So let's get through season 1 and then I'll check it off.
Okay, deal. All right. What is one thing that you, besides your book, what is one thing you recommend most to clients, family, or friends? Could be anything. Could be pizza, could be a movie, could be a book, could be an experience. What do you got?
Yeah, so I'm going to go to the experience, right? So
Okay.
I don't know how you can do it. You got to kind of find it with certain individuals, but laughing is, the secret sauce, I think, to life. If you can find somebody, at least one or two friends, and you can laugh with them, you're going to have a good life. One thing I remember growing up as a kid, my father always was laughing. He always made me laugh. My group of friends in high school, we were always laughing. My group of friends in college, we were always laughing. So I'm drawn to this day to people who can make me laugh. Sometimes, the serious, focused, how do you become successful? How do you work out? You need to just drop that and go listen to a comedian podcast or put them up on Netflix and just laugh, because laughing does something for me, and I'm sure to you, where you can't be sad and laughing at the same time, right?
Seriously.
You're in a good mood. So if you're lucky enough to laugh, then you're on your path to having a good life.
Yeah, I agree, man. I love that. Yeah. All right, this is my favorite question, I'll be honest, and I'm not going to let you skate on it either. Tell us one thing that most people don't know about you.
One thing that people do not know about me.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, so I'm a pizza connoisseur. I don't know if anyone knows that, but since I'm a little kid, my first and last favorite thing in the world was going through Long Island and finding pizza places and experimenting with new pizzas.
All right.
To this day, there's no food that I like better than pizza, and no matter where I go, I end up going to a pizza place and I rate these pizza places. And this guy at Barstool Sports, not sure if you know who I'm talking about, but he rates pizzas 1 through 10 everywhere he goes. You know the rules, 1 bite. And I laugh every time I see Dave Portnoy do it, because I've been doing that since I'm like 10, 11 years old. And it was about a year or two ago, I was with some friends. I'm like, all right, we got to rate the pizza, a new pizza place. Here we go. And my friend sent me the email or the text or whatever about Dave Portnoy, and this guy's just blowing up. He's making a fortune on Barstool Sports. He just sold to Penn Gaming, and he's doing that. He blew up. But something about me, I would say that I don't think anyone knows, but there's nothing more in life that I like than a good slice of pizza.
I would split with you anytime.
Yeah.
Man, I used to work at a pizza shop. I used to make pizzas. I was like 16,
Me
17
too.
years old. I
Me
loved
too.
it. Oh, one
And
of
I
my
worked there
favorite
because they
jobs.
had the greatest garlic knots in all of Long Island.
Okay,
Pizza
yes.
Delight,
So
Plainview, Long Island.
Oh, okay. So shout out to them. The place that I actually worked, I can't even give a shout out. There was like 13 or 14 locations in Washington State. They're all out of business now, but they had a taco pizza that I've never found anywhere else. And I've told a few places around me how to make a taco pizza different than everybody else, because they all use a red sauce. This place used like really, really finely and really nice spices added to it, a bean sauce for the lower layer. It was phenomenal. Anyway, yeah, I could have eaten that all day when I had
I'm not
metabolism.
sure I'd like that, though. I'm not a bean guy.
Okay, well, to each his own.
But I respect your opinion.
But you respect my choice.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Well, that's what life's all about. Trying new things, checking things out. Lonnie, I'm hoping a lot of people have checked this out. I hope a lot of people are saying, you know what, I'm going to give that, the pizza challenge or the pizza taste test. I'm going to listen to a podcast, and I'm going to share this with some friends and have them listen to it and tell me what they think, and we'll all rate it, because I think they're going to find out that you're pretty down to earth. You've got great vision, great values, and you're ready to deliver something that they haven't heard before. So I'm excited to be doing this with you. I thank you so much for bringing me along for the ride, and I know that you've got a bunch of good guests planned. And I'm hoping that the audience understands, we're going to tell them how to subscribe. We're going to tell them how to get hooked up with this. So this comes onto their phone every 2 weeks, and they get motivated to do some things that you're talking about and really kind of show the inner beast and let that thing out.
I hope that we can bring something to the table, a little laughter, a little motivation, maybe a stock tip or two here and there, and just get people, engaged in life and being the best version of themselves. That's the goal.
Absolutely. Lonnie, thank you for your time today, man.
Thank you.
And the last thank you goes to you, the listening audience, for tuning in and listening to the OG Money Podcast with Lonnie Gordon Ogulnick. If you have not subscribed to the podcast yet, which I know you have not because this is the very first one, please click the subscribe now button below. This way, when Lonnie comes out with a new podcast, it'll show up directly on your listening device. This makes it much easier to share these podcasts with your friends and family. Again, thank you so much for listening today. For everyone at Gordon Wealth, this is Eric Johnson reminding you to live your best day every day. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you for listening to the OG Money Podcast. Click the subscribe button below to be notified when new episodes become available.